check out this new mood lighting here. I don't know what I'm doing, but let me know if this works out. What's going on, hybrid shooters? It's Jason. So a lot of the videos on my channel are pretty much focused on Sony gear, how awesome they are and how well they work out for me. But there are times where a certain piece of gear doesn't work out the way I had hoped. And when that usually happens, I kind of just drop the project entirely. I mean, I could find out either during the shoot or even get into the editing stages that I'm just like, I don't know about this. And recently I feel I shouldn't do that because I really pride myself in making these user experience video rather than the techno mumbo jumbo crap. So whether or not I had a good or a bad experience with something, I feel like I should still put it out there just in case it could help somebody in making a decision whether they should buy this new camera or this new lens or this piece of accessory or something. So today I want to talk about the new Sony 100mm STF lens and why this lens isn't for me. Now let me preface this video first by saying that this is not a review. This is just one person's experience with this lens. Now I'm not gonna be trash talking this lens in any way in my video. This is a fantastic lens, it's just very specialized. So I highly encourage you guys to do more research on your own after watching this video to see if this lens may be right for you. Before we get started, what the hell is STF? BT dubs, if you already have a general knowledge on the specs of this lens, just go ahead and skip forward. So STF stands for Smooth Transitional Focus, and what that pretty much means is that you get smoother bokeh compared to other lenses. Now depending on your level of photography, you may or may not be able to tell right off the bat unless you had a side-by-side comparison. And even then, it may look very minor. To get the most glaring difference, you would need to involve some bokeh balls. Just look how smooth and round these are compared to the ones here with the harder edges. At this point, it becomes very subjective depending on each individual photographer and how smooth and round they want their balls to look. Now, without getting into too much of the magical sciencey stuff that happens inside of this lens, basically there's a thing called an apodization filter right inside right here that creates a smoother bokeh. And it's because of this one thing that gives this lens a very unique look. Slap on an orange G right there and boom, you got money. Or you lost money because you're not Sony. Because Sony's making money from this lens, not you. But there are a lot of confusions surrounding this lens, mainly why does the meter say 5.6 when this lens is advertised to be a 2.8? Again, it's because of this apodization filter that's inside. It cuts down the amount of light that comes into the lens. You get the blur of a 2.8, but 5.6 worth of light, if that makes any sense at all. And let me go ahead and tell you a very dumb story of mine involving me using this lens at a low light concert. And also not so smoothly transition to why this lens doesn't work for me. Yeah, that was not smooth at all. Initially, I didn't understand that concept completely, so I just took it out with me to shoot a low light concert because, hey, why not? Gotta test the lens out in every situation, right? And because I didn't know that this lens cuts down the amount of light that comes in, and I thought, well, the meter read f5.6 because it's a t-stop 5.6. I struggled to get any sort of decent photos that night because it just looked so damn dark through my viewfinder. And I was shooting at like ISO 6400, and that's my usual max comfort zone level. I know that there are people who shoot beyond that, like up to 12,800, and they say they get decent photos, but not me. 6400 is my max. I unfortunately deleted the footage of me using this lens at that concert, otherwise there would be some B-roll playing right now. But that just goes back to what I was saying earlier in the video. Because it didn't work out the way I had hoped, I just dropped the project completely. Here are a few photos that survived, the rest I trashed, and even these aren't even that great. And since then, I haven't touched this lens for a few weeks up until a few days ago where I took it out with me to a photo shoot because after all, this is advertised to be a great portrait lens, not a great concert lens. Again, I couldn't tell a difference in my photos unless I start comparing it to the ones that were shot with a different lens. The bokeh from 100 STF is definitely much smoother, but it didn't make me feel like I was lacking something with my 85 G Master. If anything, I would prefer the background to be as blurred out as possible. So again, it boils down to preference. What is your style and what type of look are you going for? Just keep in mind you may need approximately 2 more stops of light for this lens compared to the other lenses at 2.8. And for those of you who are considering getting this lens for macro photography, you definitely can, but there is a slightly cheaper alternative out there, which is the Sony 90mm macro lens. Both lenses are great for macro and portrait photography, but just keep in mind one lens does one thing better than the other. So here's my conclusion. If you specialize in portraits or you want to be different than a vast majority of the other portrait photographers out there, then this lens can give you that edge. Or in our case, that smooth, soft edge. But yeah, if you want these amazing smooth round balls, you would probably have to be someone who likes to add and manipulate lights in your shots. If you're shooting outdoors with natural lights most of the time, I mean, it may not be for you. You may not be able to see that much difference compared to the other lenses. Again, it just depends on your eyes and your preference. Honestly, I don't need this specialized of a lens. For me, I don't think I would be able to fully utilize this lens to its maximum potential. For a lot of things I'm shooting, I need as much light as I can get, and since this lens cuts down on the amount of light that comes in, I don't think I'd be able to use it all that much. If I'm doing portraits, I already have the 85 G Master or the 78-200, so I'll be okay. So this lens may not be for me, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think this lens is right for you? Drop in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and consider supporting the channel by buying either the 100 STF or any of the gear down below via the Amazon affiliate links. The links are international, so wherever you are, whatever you buy, a small kickback comes back to me to help me continue growing this YouTube channel. We're almost at 10,000 by the way. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.